Halfway through the year, I think that was around August, I made a video about middle foot pedaling platforms. And I went through 2 rounds of tests. After that, I made these pedaling platforms with 3D printing. On top of that, I've got some products from Switzerland. And I'm going to explain what they're like. So these are the 3D printed pedaling platforms. So have a good look. It's got the part where I put my foot, and on this side there's a cleat. Can you see that? So I put my foot, arch is going to be here, and I get to pedal like this. It was very stable. I used a material called PA12, and that's quite stable. A little bit heavy, but like really solid. I compared with sort of normal flat pedals, but the sheer area I've got at the top, it makes pedaling so much more stable, and I can feel that all my energy is pushed into the pedals. When I use these flat pedals, normal ones, I feel like only a part of energy is going through, but this is solid. It's huge enough and good. It's got screws here as well, so you get to see how I mounted the cleat. I use the black ones because I don't want my platforms to moving around like this. Here you can see these holes just to make them a little bit lighter. I use an online CAD system to draw these up, and that was easy. I think I spent probably about 2 hours to design these and send the data to a service in Germany, and yeah, sent that within a week, I think. That was really quick. So yeah, that's exciting. The problem with the aluminum version was that the cleat, can you see that? The cleat has got a curvature here, and with aluminum version I couldn't fill this gap, so the cleat actually got stretched out and didn't click so well. And when I used some spacers, that of course made the link unstable. But with this one, I made this curvature. Can you see that? Yeah. So there's no gap between the cleat and the platform. So the power transfer was a lot better. It's solid. They are lighter than the aluminum ones, but not that much lighter. So here is a weight comparison. This is the second generation plate. That's 154. So okay, and now the 3D printed one. That's 122. So it's about 30 plus grams lighter on one side. Obviously, the advantage about this is that I can adjust the positions. And one thing I noticed, I might have mentioned in the last video about middle foot platforms as well. My left leg is about 2 millimeters shorter than the right leg. So I put a spacer. Can you see that red one? Yeah. And yeah, I think I wouldn't have noticed about that without trying middle foot pedaling. With middle foot pedaling, I can't compensate with the ankle flexion. So basically, you get to expose the length of your legs quite precisely, and I really felt the difference. And I'm kind of glad that I did this experiment. Now I can explain what I think about these platforms during the race. Performance-wise, they're brilliant, but I have to point out that in a T1, I had to wear running shoes with wet feet straight after a swim, and that was a problem. The thing is, when your feet are wet, it's bloody difficult to wear socks and shoes. So my T1 transition time was considerably longer than usual time. There were some advantages though. I could actually run quite fast with the bike because I was just wearing running shoes. But still, in total, the time was a lot longer. Of course, T2 was a lot quicker, but if I put the time of T1 and T2 together, then that was a little bit slower. Still, that was a great opportunity to test middle foot pedaling. Just, being able to change the position and being able to use my favorite shoes. So I was thinking about other ways to use triathlon shoes for middle foot pedaling. And unfortunately, I can't find that video at the time of recording, but I was watching a video on YouTube, and there's a fitter guy, and he mentioned this product from Switzerland. They make plates like this to shift the cleats from here to here. It's not completely mid-foot, but it's a lot closer to mid-foot. They've got ergo and comp options. This one is ergo, which I've got a 12mm shift or 24mm shift. And I kind of wanted to try 12 as well. I've ridden with these. It's not as middle foot as the this option, but I have to say, like, when I'm riding with this, I wasn't always riding right in the middle, like dead spot on middle foot pedaling. I actually quite often shifted forward to have more push, but within a range that I wouldn't strain my calves. And this 24mm shift option is kind of like that. As mentioned in the video I talked about, I do get this benefit from middle foot pedaling, but still, I feel a lot more closer to normal cleat position, but still, I can pedal more like middle foot pedaling. So less strain on my calves, and on top of that, I get to use this in a transition, which I haven't tried, but yeah. Obviously, I'm so used to it, and I can transit really, really quickly. It means that I can actually use middle foot pedaling for shorter distance as well. And that's really important because you don't really want to miss the pack you are with. Once you lose the pack in front of you, it's going to cost you a lot to catch up. I have to point out I still have got some problems though. The length of the screws wasn't perfect, so there's a bit of gap with this one. My solution, there's absolutely no gap between the platform and the cleat, so I need to shorten the screws. I probably have to buy something to cut that off. I watched Alex Dorsett's videos. He uses the electric device with a rotating blades on top, and he just cuts the tip of the screws. I think I have to do that too. Interesting thing is, position wise, I use this with shoes, and I use the first generation Zoom Fly from Nike, and it's got quite a bit of soles, so I thought that would be quite high. And when I changed to this, I thought I had to bring the saddle down quite a bit, but I think this old Shimano has got quite thick soles, and also I've got insole inside, which is kind of special and modified for my feet. So in the end, I didn't have to change the saddle height at all. I actually nailed down my position with these platforms, and when I moved to new frame from Giant, I was a bit worried that would affect the sit position wearing these shoes, but yeah, that's perfect. When I went for a ride, I was riding in front of a random guy uphill, and also after that on a flat, and he was behind me, and we got to a section where we could come again. No? We got to a section where we could have a chat, and he said to me he couldn't see my head from behind. That's a great compliment. And another guy who I train with quite often asked him, "Oh, so how's my back?" And he said, "Dead flat." So I think my position is quite good now. Over the winter, I'm going to put these bars and new pads and experiment in different positions, and of course I will be making some videos on that. So watch this space. In order not to miss these, please do subscribe and also hit the like button and the bell. See you in the next video.